Well, actually, the realization of, like, the dream of 1994, which was abolish the Energy Department, abolish the Department of Education, send the power back to the state, abolish energy, send the important work to the Pentagon. This actually, again, it underlines just how ideologically conservative these cabinet picks are, and what a surprise that is, that it's coming from Donald Trump.
Well, the interesting thing is, just like 1994 and other times, I think we'll be waiting a long time for those invitations to those closing out ceremonies for those respective departments.
Right, it's not going to happen.
So it's not going to happen. So the question then becomes, how do you manage a Department of Energy? How do you manage an EPA? How do you manage the Department of Education in the context of the ideological underpinnings that conservatives have regarding how these institutions run relative to communities across the country? Putting that power back in their hands, maybe looking at breaking up parts of energy and doing certain things differently, maybe changing the way EPA engages. That's about the extent.
Spinning off the parts that they don't think Washington should do, sending those parts either to the Pentagon or on education, back to the classrooms. That will be the argument.
It would seem that there are two critical points here. Who is going to be the Assistant Secretary of Energy to run that place on a day-to-day basis?
That's critical.
Because it's not going to be Rick Perry. The other aspect is, when you really think about it in terms of streamlining government, it makes no sense to have our nuclear weaponry in that department, given the fact that we're dealing every single day contentiously, increasingly contentiously, with Russia, which has a stockpile of nuclear weapons. Why is not the nuclear arsenal under either state or defense?
But again, this is the developmental side. This is all the labs. This is future warheads. This is warhead testing. You could argue the Pentagon has enough on its hands right now, given all the things that are in the inbox of the Secretary of Defense. There's a little bit of me saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You've got enough. There's so many things going on that are facing this administration.
Might be time to fix it.
No, it's all about like redecorating the operating room while the patient is on the table. They have enough to worry about without necessarily moving or dealing with organizational issues, whether it's this, the intelligence community. I actually don't think it's a time to start reorganizing the U.S. government.
Well, if that's not the